This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world as Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Yay! Hello, that's right. I'm the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and along with Miss Rita Crompton on a new segment that we're going to be introducing this hour of Home Talk. Rita, introduce yourself. How you doing?
Hey, Michael, I am doing very well, thank you, and adjusting to this new weather temperature thing called fall, and staying really busy, getting ready for the National Hardware Show coming up in a couple months.
Well, Rita, it's so great to have you. You're going to be helping me out in the future this hour. This is going to be our Invent America segment, where we're going to be talking about basically all the entrepreneurs out there, all the inventors of all these home improvement-related products. And we're going to be doing a great education. We're going to kind of walk people through, the start to the finish, from the time they put it on a piece of paper to the time they maybe do a demo, a product, and just walk you through the steps, right, Rita? So they're not going to make the mistakes, right?
Right, exactly. And I've got to let you know that after the segment that aired on the weekend, a gentleman had to have been calling me within minutes of it being over, and he said, "Oh my God, I just got done hearing your radio show with Michael, and I've got some questions. I've been sitting on this idea, and you have inspired me to take the next step."
Well,
so it's working.
Yeah, and the purpose of it, we don't want them to make the mistakes and spend all this money for nothing, and then they got this great product, they got this great idea, and we got to get it to market. But unfortunately, they got a lot of unscrupulous people out there, and they spent all their money and they're broke, and they're back to the same place. But we're going to have a great time, Rita. Now, tell us a little bit about our guests that you're going to have.
Well, George Peters is our guest today, and he has had decades of experience doing this. He is a very experienced inventor, and I know, George, you're smiling with that word. One of his products is actually in the White House, if you can believe it.
Okay.
It is great, and he's had experience on both sides of licensing and on startup mode. So great expertise coming from George. George, thank you for joining us.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce him? And his name is George Peters, and now he's the president of Invent New England, I think, right?
Let's let George tell his story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, George, welcome to the show.
Michael, thank you very much. Rita, always a pleasure, a longtime friend. I really appreciate your time today. And, yes, I took over being president of Invent New England in 2019. Invent New England is one of the oldest groups in the country to help support people looking to turn their ideas into a product. So I really appreciate you having me on today.
Well, people might not realize you, along with Mr. Al Connorino in 2010, y'all guys came up with the kettle pizza, right?
That's correct. It was Al. I had met Al through a newspaper article, and we met one day at a local Panera's, and a couple hours later, it goes by pretty quick when a couple of inventors get together, and that's when we had an idea for an insert to turn charcoal grills into pizza ovens. And we made the first one in his workshop next to his barn in Boxford, Mass. And that was in 2010, and said we might have something here. And we ate a lot of pizza trying them out, how they work, which is not a bad thing. And Kettle Pizza went on to become, we also came out one for a gas grill that really turned up the heat for us. And it was really an honor to be represent Massachusetts at the White House in 2019 as a Made in America product. So,
well, George, I got to ask you, how many products have you done, and how long has it taken, though? Can you walk us through some steps?
Absolutely. In my first idea for a product in about 1996, and at the same time, Michael, this is where when people can find an organization like Invent New England, United Inventors Association, or certainly Rita's groups that she's involved with, the most important thing is to find a safe haven where you can get a lot of free information. When I started in 96, I'm not sure a lot of people ever thought the Internet would become like it was. So I was still trying to find a lot about how to get a patent and things like that through manuals, libraries, and things like that. So it has come a long way.
Well, you bring up a topic. You bring up a topic there. So as you're talking about it, so you do believe that patents are the way to go, as opposed to no patent going to market with a new product, or even doing it pro se. You would say get a registered patent attorney. That's
the best way, and I can tell you from being in many rooms, I've pitched to the CEO of Walmart, nice conversation with the president, many pitches, and the question we would always get after, how was your trip, was, does your product have a patent? When you say you have a patent for your idea, it shows the people that you're in the room with that you have taken it to another level. So it's one thing that they check off on their box, that it has a patent. Now, they will research a patent to see how it would stand up, but it certainly puts up the first barrier to somebody thinking about maybe knocking you off. It won't keep somebody from knocking you off, but it provides whoever you might license the product to some ammunition to do that. So my first product took me almost 6 years to get a patent for, and I was awarded my first patent on April 1st, 2003. And I make that note of that because I think it's important for people to know that when your patent's awarded on April Fool's Day, it's a very important thing to remember going forward. That it is quite a journey going forward with all the ups and downs that you will go through. And the time I had a young family and was working full time.
Hey, George, there's some music. We got to step away just shortly. Don't go nowhere. I got a whole bunch of questions to ask you, and Rita's going to come back and ask you a couple questions, and we're really going to help some inventors out there and really help them and walk them through the steps on putting it, basically getting their product to market. So, hey, I'm the Cajun contractor, Michael King, along with the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Stay tuned to a new segment of the show called Invent America. This is Home Talk USA, right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network, streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. Y'all come back now, you hear?
to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, welcome back. That's right. I'm the Cajun contractor Michael King. Don't forget to visit our websites. We have 2 websites you can visit. We have the HomeTalkUSA.com and we have InventorLady.com. So anything you want to know about this show and all the information is sitting there. Rita, I'll tell you, we're having a great time with our guests. His name is Mr. George Peters. He's an inventor, and boy, he's on the line right now. And Rita, and hey, I know you have a couple questions you want to ask him.
I do, and some of it is the insight that he has. So, George, tell us, what do you feel is either the biggest mistake that you made or that most inventors make?
Well, I can certainly speak to the encyclopedia of mistakes that I made, and I think it was early on. I knew I needed to get a patent attorney. That was the first thing. I went right to try to find a local patent attorney that I could go and talk to and get some insight to, and that was the first good thing I did. The second thing was not really realizing the amount of work it takes, resources, and that's resources in time and money. And I think early on, I try to assist new creators in saying that, do they have a family? Do they have children? Because once you start down this path, it takes a tremendous amount of time, and it takes time and resources sometimes away from your family life, which is probably the things that, I regret in that, because you can't get time back. And certainly, at least myself, I wasn't good at managing money. And I made a lot of mistakes of spending money that I shouldn't have spent in certain areas, because early on, like I said, it was the late 1990s, I was going on instinct rather than finding experienced people to help.
I'm glad you mentioned that, George, because that's the biggest problem. I mean, if you heard my monologue, is that you have to have a plan. You have to have a marketing plan. How are you going to take this to market? But the biggest mistake I think people also make that I want to talk about, when I go to the booths and talk to these young inventors, they're happy. They're excited. Their product finally got to market. They're excited. That's their little baby. But when I go to the booth and say, hey, okay, what do you plan on doing? Are you plan on, license this product out? Or are you plan on keeping the product? Because the biggest problem, in my opinion, is when, say, a company is a one-trick pony, or maybe has one product that maybe they need to consider doing a licensing over the product. But we can go both ways with this, but George, but what is the advantage of licensing, say, over becoming a startup? Any views on that? Can you help us?
Yes. Well, right off the bat, I'll tell you my own story, is that early on with my first product, which, again, was patented in 2003 and came to market at the same time. I spent 4 to 5 years developing the product, and at the same time paralleling with it, going through the patent process. And I remember an email I got from the company who I had partnered with for manufacturing my first product, which was the safety applicator and glove system method, which figured out fairly quickly that wasn't going to fit pretty well easily, so it came out as the mosquito mitt, a way to apply insect repellent to your skin without spraying directly on you. And I remember it was probably a good 15 years later, after the ups and downs with the mitt, is that I look back on that letter because there was an offer for a licensing agreement for, I believe it was about 20 or 25 cents, and that I was going to get for every mitt that they sold. And in talking with some people that were helping me at the time, we said, oh, well, you know what, instead of making 25 cents, well, let's make these ourselves, and we can make $2 each one. Well, 17 years later, I look back on that, and that was the best deal that I would ever see over those 17 years. So I caution people now that to look at licensing as a victory. Don't look at it as you're not going to make it so much, because you want to go for the long-term play and partner with somebody who knows how to sell and know how to market. They probably have other products already in other channels that have been successful. So they're not inventors. If they were inventors, they wouldn't need us. We're different than a lot of people, Michael, and Rita will tell you this, dealing with a lot of inventors, is that it's best to get your product in the hands of professionals as quickly as you can and let them send you a check every 3 or 4 months, and you can get on either to your next product or get on with your life that you don't take away from your family.
Well, and I remember, you've told me so many times, it's like when you were in startup mode, you could never get your hand in your own pocket because everybody else had their hand in your pocket. And, when you would go to the bank with your royalty check every quarter, you had a big smile on your face because with the other product where you were startup mode, everybody was taking money out of your pocket. So, just having done both, your perspective is so important for new inventors.
Absolutely. It is, when you're, as the term's called, bootstrapping it, meaning the money's coming from you, it's very difficult. It was money that sometimes you take money that you can't. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're just out of time, my brother.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Hey, give us your website. How can people learn more about your company and the Invent New England website?
It's www.inventne, like ne.com, and that's the best way to reach me. And I invite everyone to contact me. I'll help everyone.
Rita, right quick. Give me your website right quick.
Our website, inventorlady.com, and all of our information about our different group meetings and getting on the radio and everything is right there.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be back with another guest, another topic, right here at Home Talk USA. On behalf of Rita Crompton, say thank you. And our great guest, Mr. George Peters. Check his website out. Always streaming live on the World Wide Web at HomeTalkUSA.com. Always support your local independent hardware stores and garden centers. I'm the Cajun Man. This is Home Talk USA with the Invent America radio program.